It started a few weeks ago. I had a fairly successful business where I designed websites for people. It's not a multi-million dollar business, but it brings in enough cash to get by. I got an email a while ago that looked like spam. It had this typical "try this new treatment" subject line, and 90% of doctors don't want you to know this body text. Usually with these spam companies, there's a link at the bottom that allows you to unsubscribe, so I opened it to see where the link was and how I got on the mailing list. When I opened the email, it had some rather strange content. I can remember parts of it. It said stuff like, "Anxiety? Try this new treatment. Research has shown that a new method called reverse PTSD can erase painful memories." And "click here to see testimonials." I was confused about the reverse PTSD, but I scrolled to the bottom and found a hyperlink that said, "Think this email was sent by mistake? Click here." I clicked it and it led me to a page with one line of text, an input box, and a button. The web address was ptsdfuntime.com. It asked for my email address and to click the remove button, which was pretty standard procedure for spammers. When I clicked it, a message box said, "We're sorry for the error. Your address has been removed." I exited out and went back to Dreamweaver to finish some HTML. About 15 minutes later, my email alert beeped. I checked and it was the same spam from earlier. I deleted it and continued. 15 minutes later, it sent again. I deleted it and carried on. Then my computer beeped again, and again, and again. I went back on my mail client to block the address, but only one new email showed. It was from the same address, but with a different subject. "Try reverse PTSD for free with this download." Needless to say, I was very frustrated. I blocked the email address and went back to work. About an hour later, my work email beeped. I checked it and I had a new client request. The email read, "Hello, I heard about how you design websites. Mine is lacking content and I was wondering if you could fix it up. The address is ptsdfuntime.com. I politely replied, "I'm sorry, but I cannot help spam sites." He wrote back, "I really need this done. If you don't, there will be consequences." That was the last I heard from him for a while. A few days later, I got a new email that said, "I'm sorry for my behavior the other day. The attachment contains a code for an Amazon gift card." Yeah, right. The icon was a notepad and had a TXT file type. I scanned it and the antivirus said that the name was giftcard.txt.exe. I immediately stopped the scan and messaged him back, "I know you sent a virus, so stop now or I will report you." Almost instantaneously I got a reply. It said, "There will be consequences," with the same file attached. I blocked the email and went back to work. Later that night, I decided to go on Reddit. I logged in and browsed for a few hours and went to bed. The next morning, I went out to run some errands, and when I came back to my apartment, I turned on my computer. Instead of the Windows 7 logo, I got one acronym: PTSD. The computer skipped login and opened Chrome. It opened a page with a black background and red letters that said, "I told you there would be consequences." I was very confused at this point. How did I get a virus? I didn't open the attachments. I opened a new tab and tried to search to see if anyone else experienced this and got a "no internet error." Great, my internet is blocked. I opened up my history and noticed I logged into login.reddit.net. Wow, I really got fished. Being the genius I was at the time, I used the same password for everything, including my computer login. That means he had my IP, and my login. All you need for remote access. Of course, Chrome won't exit and all other commands were disabled. A flashing message showed up that said, "Want this to go away? Try the free trial of reverse PTSD." I reluctantly went to ptsdfuntime.com and clicked free trial. A simple Flash Player window popped up and there was two options: Start Experience and Caution. Caution brought up an error, so I clicked Start Experience. I think it lasted about 45 seconds. A computerized beeping was heard and was extremely loud. Images flashed on the screen in quick succession. War injuries like limbs being blown off, deformed children, all your cliche horrors. I wanted to turn away, but the only thing I could focus on was that beeping. I tried to move my head, but I couldn't. I vomited chunky yellow stuff on my keyboard and shirt due to not being able to turn my head and vomit on the floor. The flash ended and my computer rebooted. In the glare of my monitor, I noticed I had a nosebleed. I went to the bathroom and quickly stopped it. When I came back, my computer had the following words burnt in the screen: "Thank you for your trial test." I then felt immense pain in the back of my head. I ran over to my alarm control and pressed the alert button. I then blacked out. I woke up in a hospital bed with stitches on my forehead. The doctor explained I had a malignant tumor growing on my collarbone. He explained it was medically impossible not for me to notice it for so long, and as the size matched ones that have been in patients for years, I explained that I just had a CAT scan on my head about a week ago to check my sinuses and nothing was out of the ordinary. He dismissed this as me being delusional from the painkillers. The doctor looked at his pager and his face went white. He calmly went over to the cabinet, took out a vial, and put a few milligrams of the solution into my IV. He then quickly backed away from my bed. I started to ask what was wrong, but slipped into unconsciousness. When I woke up, I was handcuffed to the metal rails of the hospital bed. I was explained to by an officer that they found my computer and watched my videos and came across a rather disturbing video. It depicted a child being strapped to a chair in a plexiglass container full of water. Someone else came in and flipped a switch on the back of the container, which caused the water to be displaced with hydrochloric acid. A pH vial was on the plexiglass box and slowly counted down from 7 to 1.4. When they identified the place of the killing and torture, it was identified as my basement. From the hospital, I was transported to the county jail's medical ward and eventually here. Please, Your Honor, show mercy now that you know my story, please. The previous text was taken from the court transcription of Martinez versus Eden family. News report 1 week later. Very sad news regarding the case that led to the state's first lethal injection in a decade. Upon further investigation of the owner of the website ptsdfuntime.com, it was discovered he had an exact replica of the convicted prisoner's basement, built in the owner's household with several decomposing bodies. The owner of the site is now in custody and the now deceased convict has been cleared of charges. Not only is this the first use of capital punishment in a decade, it was the first mistrial that led to an unjustified death. The victim's family has been awarded $750,000 in emotional damages from the court. We will continue to follow this story on 3TV News. Thanks for watching.